Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've been waiting for this time for so long, and that is Poland to be activated by its masters, the Brits and the Americans, to provoke the Russians, as the Estonians did in the past, 3 years and a half. So now, what did I tell you yesterday and the day before? I told you that the Brits will activate the Baltic states and Poland in order to provoke the Russians. And the Russians, what did I say? They will have no patience for these particular countries. Great Britain, no patience. Baltic states, no patience. And Poland, no patience. I made 3 videos in the past, 2 days or so, not that one. Here. Remember these ones? Where the Russians seized vessel from Estonia entering Russian territorial waters. This is from the 19th, the other one 20 and 21. And then the Russians sent a little Sukhoi 35 and they got their vessel back that the imbeciles in Estonia impounded. Remember that one? Alright, so here Estonia cries like a bitch after Russia seizes vessel. Will UK, what did I say over there? Will UK activate Estonia to fight Russia? In this video, and I think in this video and in this video, I made this statement. The next ones that the Brits will activate in the Baltic Sea will be the Poles or Lithuania or Latvia. That's the other 2 Baltic states plus the Poles. I said it. It happened. And I'm going to show you how they titled it. Here it is. I'm going to show you some maps too. Euronews. Ooh, must be true. Now, look at this headline. Poland intervenes after Russian shadow fleet ship detected near Baltic Sea cable. Wow. So, Poland intervenes. What happened here? One airplane was sent by the Russians that violated Estonia's airspace. And those guys released the Russian shadow fleet. Now, the Poles intervened in a cable from Poland to Sweden. I'm going to show you. There's no way to go from, let's say, from the North Sea or from the Atlantic Ocean into the St. Petersburg if you don't cross through the Baltic Sea. I will show you a map. Here it is. Here we got a beautiful, beautiful map right there. So, the yellow one is Russia. Here is Poland, yellow mellow. All right, this is a certain kind of pea. This is another kind of pea. This is diluted. This is not diluted. So right there, you got Estonia over there. This is what had happened right here. Now, this Poland has a cable between Poland and Sweden. That's what I'm talking about right here. That goes from, let's say, north to south or south to north. Now, this is St. Petersburg, right? And here is Kaliningrad. You don't see it. It's a different color. Kaliningrad, right there. So if the Russians come from the North Sea, in order to go to Kaliningrad, in order to go right here to St. Petersburg, they have to cross something that runs north-south, south-north, from west to east. So there's no way that these guys are going to cross it. Any vessel passing this right here, Malmo, right here in Trelleborg, whatever it is, they're going to pass through that. So, the Poles are provoking the Russians. And what did I say? Everybody repeat after me. The Russians have no patience with the following baboons. Great Britain, the first one by far. That's why the Brits are using the baboons in the Baltic states and the baboons in Poland and others to yap around. Because look who's their defense minister, Mr. David Lamy, the French Lamy. Look at his face and listen to his statements. Then you will understand why Great Britain doesn't want to fight a direct war with anybody, including Malta or, Albania. All right? You understand. Just look at the guy. Oh, damn! That's what you're going to do. All right, let's read this article, my friends. Poland intervenes. It intervenes after Russian shadow fleet detected near Baltic states cable. Okay. A Russian shadow fleet ship performed suspicious. Suspicious is something that is subjective. I can find you suspicious if I see you walking down the street with your hands in your pockets, grabbing your balls. I think you got a weapon or something, which balls could be used as a weapon sometime. Maneuvers near the cable connecting Poland and Sweden. Tusk, Mr. Donald Tusk, the Prime Minister of Poland, he doesn't work for the Polish people, just so you know. Right here. So, the cable is between Poland and Sweden, okay? And it was rounded. How in the hell you expect this guy to get from here to there, or from there to there? Fly or something? There's no way. Let me show you more. If you think, you can go through here, okay? You can go through here. You can't. This is the only way. All right, but suspicious. This is the provocation. The Polish military intervened in the Baltic Sea after Russian ship carried out suspicious maneuvers. Like what? Ooh. Near a power cable connecting Poland and Sweden. Donald Tusk, who's a garbage, said on Wednesday, and I'm quoting, a Russian ship from the Shadow Fleet covered by sanctions by Great Britain. I covered that in the videos here. By Great Britain. Let me show you again. Great Britain sanctioned the Russians, and everybody else do what Great Britain tells them, which is pick the hot Russian potato from the fire with the little raccoon fingers. And then what the Russians gonna do? Boom. And the guys are, they're gonna go away. It was Estonia activated, now is Poland activated. Suspicious. Okay. All right, let's read further. Let me put my goggles. Performed suspicious maneuver near the power cable connecting Poland and Sweden, Tusk wrote on X. After the effective intervention of our military, the ship sailed to one of the Russian ports. Like, mommy, daddy. That's what this guy says. The term Shadow Fleet is used to describe ships Russia operates under concealed means to evade some imbecile's sanctions. So it sailed to one of Russian ports. All right. What do you think will happen? As I said in the case of Estonia, the Russians already claimed they will use their navy to protect their ships. And what do you think Poland will do? Poland will do exactly what Estonia did. Will impound one of the Russians' Shadow Fleet, or one of the vessels. And the Russians, Emil Kosman, guarantees you that the Russians will pick them up. And the Poles know it. This is the problem. The Polish population, the guys in charge of Poland, they know. The Brits know, as they knew that if they will try to bring NATO troops in Ukraine, the Russians will intervene militarily. They said it. They all knew. There are reports made by experts, okay, and people familiar with them in a matter, university professors. All these experts told us that's a red line. They will intervene. What the other guy said? That's great. Our company is gonna make some profits, right? Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Rheinmetall, and Raytheon. Remember, we're gonna make a profit. Let's go. Yeah, we're coming with NATO in Ukraine. Okay, davai, we're gonna fuck you up. And you have Ukraine. Oh my God, unprovoked. Now these baboons in Poland, they all know that the Russians will have very, very short temper with them. Why? Because of the big mouth the Poles had. As the Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania, total population of the Baltic states, 6.1 million people. Just so you remember how should I put it? Tremendous power of the Baltic states. So when you hear Baltic states, imagine 3 villages. That's what you should. That's all. When you hear the Poles, you should imagine a frustrated Poland. Why? Because it was fucked from east to west in the past 800, 900, 200 and some years. Before, yes, Poland was great, yes, invaded other countries and plundered other countries, and they were strong, which, all right, how is that? Might is right. So those times are gone. Then they were disintegrated. I think it was in 1790 something. It became a no country anymore until it was put together after the First War by Stalin and others, taken from other people's territories. And then Poland said, what are we going to do? Well, what you did in the Second World War, they fucked you up from both sides. So it has a lot of frustration, especially against the Soviets. But they conflate the Soviets with the Russians. Instead of saying, no, actually it's Mr. Bronstein. Oh, Trotsky, you mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, it's Mr. Lenin. Oh, Mr. Ulyanov. Oh, Mr. Kaganovich. Oh, Mr. Stalin. Mr. Djugashvili, his name. Oh, no Russians so far. Instead of directing them, they wouldn't dare. They wouldn't dare, like they wouldn't dare to point out whose fault in the Middle East. Don't say the same here. No. Why don't you take care of your baboons in your little things that they are in charge of you? No, because you have to hate those guys, the Russians. They did so many things to you. But if you look at it, it was Stalin all the time. Stalin is not Russian. Why don't you hate the Georgians? Kaganovich is not Russian. Why did you hate the... You remember Katyn Forest, my friends from Poland? Katyn Forest were those commissars. Do you know the commissars? We know the names. Go and check them out. I dare you. Why? Because you're going to find out how many Russians were in the Katyn Forest massacre. Volyn massacre? Who were those? Were those Russians too? You are made to hate the wrong people. That's what it is. So the Russians know that, the Poles know that, the Ukrainians know that. There's no love between Poland and Ukraine whatsoever. No. I know that for a fact. But nevertheless, here it is. Poland intervenes. What do you think will happen next time? When the Polish Navy will reach the reach the Russian vessel in the Baltic states. We're gonna catch them this time. Get your weapons ready. Okay, let me get my knife, sharpen it a little bit. I'm ready. When the Polish Navy will get to the Russians and start stabbing the vessel, tick, 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 with their knives, and they're gonna accost over there, then the Russian will send, I don't know, half of a plane, not a full plane, and half of it. And the Poles will be, any Iskanders are coming? Any Oreshniks are coming? They might. Why? The Russians are waiting. I guarantee you that. And then whose fault? The Brits. And the Brits, I'm not talking about the people, the baboons like the Poles, Romanians. No, not about us. The guys in charge of the Brits. But hey, there's going to be another unprovoked attack by Russia. That's how it's going to be portrayed by your media operatives. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I'm waiting. I can't tell you how much I'm waiting for the Poles to show their balls to the Russians. You know what the Russians will do? We'll get if I find any here, not this time. I'm going to get this one. I'm going to go like, these are the Poles' balls. The Poles have big balls, I gotta tell you that. We're gonna make, poo! That's what they do. With a little pin, we're gonna deflate the Poles' balls. Why? Because Russia has Himalayan balls, okay? And they're gonna just roll over Poland whenever they feel like. And then everybody's gonna be like, yeah, we told you the Russians are going to invade us. We defend our values, the European civilization. We are Sovietsky. Where are you, Sovietsky? I'm coming with a winged. That's how they're gonna show up. Fight against the Russian fucking Soviet tanks with the swords again. It was just a story, but anyway, that's how they're gonna come. And the Russians are gonna be like, look at these guys. Oh fuck! Here you go again. Hey, stop! Don't you know it's the baboons in Great Britain all along? No. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. I'm waiting. I get my popcorn ready.